We are reacting to Season 1, Episode 1 of Shrinking. This show has taken Apple TV by storm, been ranked #1 on the charts for weeks at a time, and now one of my favorite shows ever. I actually have never watched Apple TV until I bought my iPhone 17, and they gave me 3 free months. So, really grateful for that, and grateful I actually cashed it in. Usually I just sit there and let that shit expire. But let's get into it and see if we can figure out if any of the advice in this show can actually be used from a counseling therapist standpoint.
My friends.
Are they hookers?
I don't think so.
Did you pay them money?
Not yet.
So we are starting off hot with our main character, Jimmy, who is up at what seems to be 3 or 4 a.m. disturbing his neighbors. So we actually don't know who Jimmy is yet, but currently on painkillers, Adderall, and hired but hasn't paid his hookers yet. So looking forward to see where this goes.
Last night. Alice.
Same old shit, bro.
Ooh, so
Bro.
safe to assume that's his daughter, because when you get hit with the bro, you know you've been put in a position of you're no longer my dad, or I don't respect you as my dad. As she's preparing breakfast for him, liquor all over the table, looks like a complete fucking mess. Some estranged relationships early on. Interested to see how this develops throughout the rest of the show.
Liz is giving me a ride.
Oh.
She just flipped up a picture of her family, so no mom currently present? Yikes.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm late. Steven. What's on your mind today?
This show does a badass job of misleading us, kind of making us feel like this guy's fucked up. He's the one with all the problems. He's going to be getting some therapy in this show. But as he arrives to his office, his patient said, "Are you okay?" Which even makes it look more like that. But he sits down in the therapist chair and asks, "Are you good?" This show is the first time I ever begged the question, do therapists need therapists? And from what we're seeing, clearly.
They weren't at the store. They were just on my head.
Am I just gonna be alone? Am I just gonna be like a very successful man?
So look, as a therapist, counselor, any job you do, you sign up for it. But that's what we tend to neglect. No matter the expertise, if it's a doctor, if it's a lawyer, we are just people. And sometimes, there's gonna be times, life is just gonna slap your ass in the face. You gotta come to work and you are dealing with a lot of your own shit. And I know that they say that you don't bring your problems into work. I mean, you can do that for 90, 95% of the time, but it's not going to be like that 100%. And sometimes you really just have to be real with yourself and understand when you're at your limit. So that's what we're seeing with this guy here. He's clearly dealing with something that's causing him to drink excessively, use drugs, painkillers, do stuff that you would think at his age maybe he would have gotten past, because clearly he has a daughter who's in high school. So I'm interested to see what kind of pain this guy's in that's causing him to make these choices and then have to drag himself into work like this.
On and on about how dumb I am.
You're not dumb, Grace.
He said if it weren't for my great tits, no one would want to take care of me, so that's almost nice.
It's not nice.
I know, but he loves me.
Enough. Grace, we've been doing this for 2 years. 2 years of your life.
And he's at his breaking point. I just want to say first and foremost, I'm in training to become a therapist, counselor. I know intuitively this is not the professional way to react to it, but the culmination of his life versus hearing what seems to be mundane problems to him. Everybody's problems are valid and the worst that they're experiencing, so nobody's problems are worse than others, but he has had it.
And what's the word? What's that word? What's the word?
I don't know what word you're talking about.
Fugly? He's fugly. He's a fugly, fugly man.
Do not call people's partners fugly. Even if they call them fugly. Don't do it.
Fugly inside and out.
I am sorry. I don't know what's happening because I was talking and.
Grace, your husband is emotionally abusive. He's not working on it. He doesn't intend to. He's made you think it's all you deserve. It's not. Just fucking leave him.
Everything he said right before he said just fucking leave him was spot on. So we subtract all of the yelling and the fugly part and then the just leave him part, and that advice was very solid. So when you're in a sporadic mood, when you're in a unstable mental environment, you cannot give the message clearly to the people that you love without adding all the extra. So just a little bit of take a little bit of that back, Mr. Jimmy.
It's not that easy.
It is that easy. You don't have any kids. Just go to your sisters in Vancouver.
But then.
Leave him or I'm done being your therapist.
I don't think that's allowed.
Look,
Okay. Okay.
So clearly this guy is struggling to keep it all together even at work, but we're finally going to get a peek into what has been causing him so much mental turmoil that he has a teenage daughter, clearly a successful practice at some point having these clients, and is drinking, doing drugs, and keeping his neighbors up his neighbors up at night.
You okay, Alice? She's fine. She's fed. She did her homework. She just had soccer practice.
soccer started?
Yeah. Soccer started, and she's killing it. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this you forever?
I don't know.
As we see, the neighbor has presumed the role of the parent, and this is not uncommon in the lives of people who experience loss. They tend to start losing track of their lives because of how focused they are on their grieving and things that they will never get back. And thank God for people like his neighbor here, I think her name's Liz, who has presumed the role, but even she had to ask the question, is this how it's going to be forever? There's no time limit on this shit. And some people need to grieve longer than others, but it's a reminder that we need to look at all the people that we're affecting even when we are hurting, because we're not the only ones hurting. And I think that's what he's forgot about his daughter. He didn't just lose his wife, they lost their wife. And that doesn't make it any easier, but it reminds you that you're not alone. And that can go with anything in life that you're struggling with.
I do appreciate. Oh, no. Okay, I have to go. Bye.
Dipshit.
So the question is answered. Yes, therapists need therapists. We need people to keep us in check. While we're sitting here dealing with all these other people's problems, trying our best not to make them our own, but while dealing with our own, we need someone to vet out what's in our heads. And I think this applies for people in general. Men particularly, I can't speak for women, I don't know, but men in particular like to bottle it all up. Now, you always got to be careful. Not all advice is solicited, not all advice is good advice. However, not everybody can afford therapy or counseling. Sometimes you should ask a friend, trusted family member, a closed ear that, hey, I am feeling this. I'm feeling something real hard and I got to get it off my chest. You can ask for advice or feel free to tell them, hey, I'm not necessarily looking for advice, maybe a non-biased point of view. So best thing you could do is make sure that it's somebody who's not involved in the situation and be open to whatever they say. So not involved, not rooting for you, not rooting for the other party, and just give you an honest perspective, I think would be the best way to go about it.
I'm glad you came back.
I didn't have a choice. I told my dad that you suck balls, but then my mom said she didn't know what else to do, and then she started.
It may not be unlikely that you have a client tell you that you suck balls depending on how you did. But remember, it's probably not personal.
Crying again, so here the fuck I am.
You're right. Last time you were here, I did. I sucked. I sucked on balls. But I want you to know, I'm normally very good at this. That should be off. I'm sorry. I have to take this.
What Jimmy does there, honestly, a very good move. Sometimes you may say something that comes off wrong to one of your patients or to somebody you love. Take accountability ASAP. Don't take it personally. Don't get pissed that they don't like what you said. Just look at their point of view. Say, you know what? You're right. What I said may have been offensive. I will do my best not to do it again. That builds trust versus denying it.
That's someone I helped. Okay? I helped the shit out of her.
Okay, what the fuck you telling me for?
So here's something you start noticing, or I started noticing in Jimmy. He is using his successes with his patients to validate himself. He's in a time where he feels like a failure as a husband, a failure as a father. We'll find out more about why he feels like a failure as a husband later. So now he's using his patients as a source of, I am doing a good job. I am not a failure. And that's a very dangerous way to look at your patients. The reason is you become very invested in their outcome. Let me clarify that for you. As a counselor, as a therapist, you have to care for your patients, but whatever they end up doing is up to them. You do your best to guide them with your expertise, but you cannot be invested in their outcome. At least that's the way I have practiced it. Because if you get too invested, then you start making decisions on emotion versus what is objectively best for the situation. I like the way that Sean, the new patient, reacts. What the fuck do I care? Well, it's something to watch out for because he starts doing that with all his patients in very funny, different ways.
I don't know.
What the fuck am I doing here?
You trust me, Sean?
Fuck no.
Doesn't matter. I'm a psychological vigilante.
You a what?
Let's go find you someone to be.
So this is a term that they go over earlier in the show a little bit between him and the head guy. I had to cut it out because there was a lot of music playing, probably copyright. But unfortunately, he's embracing this role of a psychological vigilante. The whole point of counseling and therapy is to try your best to get people to come to the conclusions on their own. You don't want to spoon feed them the answer because next time the difficulty comes up, they're going to depend on you for the answer versus coming to the conclusion themselves. Jimmy is so determined to feel that dopamine, to feel that high of helping his clients out, he's willing to go way outside normal practice. Now, I don't know if there's like universal laws for this shit. Not yet, but at least I know the head guy there is not approving this shit. But it does lead for very good TV. So we're jumping back into a suggestion that Jimmy made for Sean, which is to attend a fighting class because he's displaying very heavy signs of violence and blacking out. So it's a lot of pent up physical aggression versus where some people are like passive aggressive, some people hurt themselves. This isn't a bad suggestion, but the fact that he's going there with him and getting heavily involved in it is where you're starting to tread the line of getting too personally involved. There's no client-patient confidentiality. I think there's another rule for it, which I will end up learning, I'm sure, at some point. But again, getting really over-invested in the outcome. And that's a suggestion for all of you guys. If you have somebody who comes to you for some advice or needs some sort of guidance, the best thing you can do is, hopefully you've had experience in it. If you haven't had experience, lead them to somebody who can. But if you give it to them, don't expect them to or not follow through with what you give them. Just, that's what I got. best of luck. If you still need more guidance after that, I'm here. And that's what Jimmy's starting to do, is really wanting to make sure what he tells them works.
Good. Or it'll make your bloodlust stronger and you'll become twice as dangerous. We'll just have to see.
The fuck? Bloodlust? Damn.
Honestly, there's positives and negatives to all of this. Again, I think his suggestion isn't a bad one, but he's not seeing how getting so involved will have its drawbacks, because you got to keep that position as he's the patient, he's the therapist. If you start getting so overly involved and being too vulnerable with problems that you're still dealing with, like trauma, then you start becoming equals on that plane. And you don't want that. You want to be able to maintain, like, hey, I'm the one giving you the guidance here. You don't want that person to then feel like they should be giving you guidance. That is the danger of what he's doing.
Sit down, Jimmy.
Is this going to be a fun talk?
I just got off the phone with Sean's father. He said he came back from your session with a broken tooth.
So not a fun talk.
Not for you.
Oh, man. Harrison Ford. I'll be honest. I heard his name. Hadn't really watched him. I knew he was in Indiana Jones. This guy's a good actor. I'm just going to let y'all, if y'all don't know, I'm sure most of y'all know, I don't watch that much TV, so I'm sure you guys know. But, man, does he play this leader, fatherly type role to the T. And he's about to give our boy Jimmy a professional fatherly thrashing.
Careful. Huh? Or are you just gonna burn your career and take me down with you?
Coin flip. Sorry, Paul, that was a stupid joke. I get...
Hey.
The point that Paul makes here is a good one. You can't always be perfect in this, because there is that mix of vulnerability, and you got to get them to trust you, but you got to be careful. That's why there is guidelines. That's why you can't just do whatever the hell you want. And he's sensing that Jimmy's moving out of desperation. Instead of really trying to help the people, he's actually trying to help himself.
Get out of here.
You can tell there's a lot of love between these guys, and he doesn't really know how to act. So clearly there's a lot of history, and he wants to help Jimmy, but at a certain point, you got to be able to help yourself. So in an effort to try to be a better father, to show his daughter that he's trying to change, he drops whatever he's doing and he comes to this soccer game. He does end up bringing Sean, which still violating those borderlines, but he's in it. He's doing it. But during this soccer game, more of the consequences show of him being over-involved in a patient's life, and he ends up just putting on shit on top of more shit, and he's gonna have to pay for it.
You fucking told my wife to leave me? That's what I pay you for? Stay down, motherfucker! You wanna fucking go? Son, I'm okay. Sean.
Damn! Bro, it's some Mortal Kombat. Just... Holy shit.
Sean, no, he's down. Sean, walk away. Please, I'm fine, Sean.
And that is how our episode comes to a conclusion. He drags one of his clients to bring him with him to make him feel connected, trying to be a good person, and the husband of the lady that left him comes to beat his ass. Now putting his PTSD-stricken client in a moment where he loses control in front of everybody and he's going to jail. But hey, he was a good dad and he showed up for the soccer game, so there's a plus there. His daughter ends up coming to say thank you. This show is really a masterpiece, and I really look forward to continuing to cover it. I think they just released the last episode last week of season 3. So we're going to be going through this week by week, trying to see where we can find lessons and valuable insight of therapists dealing with their own shit while trying to help people deal with theirs. So if you liked it, leave a comment, let me know. I'll do other series too. I've gotten suggestions like doing anime characters like Vegeta's psychology, Sasuke. I've gotten other suggestions for other TV shows. I love this. And I just started my career, so I look forward for you guys to come with me as I continue to learn. Thank you for all who's watching. See you in the next one.